Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And I thought today we'd take a look for Thursday at the lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from the Old Testament, and that is from the first book of Kings. We are now talking, and we've been talking for several chapters, about the prophet Elijah. And we just finished hearing the story about Elijah slaying all the false prophets. And of course, the king and Jezebel's wife, Ahab and Jezebel, are very upset about this. And so we pick up on, right after the slaughter of the false prophets by Elijah, we pick up the story there. Chapter 19, beginning at the first verse. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, "So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time." And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers." And as he lay and slept under the juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, "Arise and eat." And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baked with coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again a second time, and touched him, and said, "Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee." And he arose, did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Okay, so interesting things going on here, this story. And the story of Elijah is so powerful. He's considered one of the greatest of the prophets of Israel. And of course, we hear when Jezebel says things like, may the gods allow this to happen. We know, of course, that she is one who believes in Baal and all sorts of false religions, and so gods is plural there. And of course, she wants to kill Elijah for what he did. It's a threat against his life. And so Elijah flees. He obviously doesn't want to be killed by Jezebel. And it's obvious that God also has plans still for Elijah, that he doesn't want him taken away by the sword. And so Elijah goes to the next town, and then off from there he goes off to the wilderness, leaves his servant there, and he goes off into the wilderness. And he's basically asked God to die. He's like, I've had enough. You know, everywhere I go, the people are unfaithful, the people are doing all these ridiculous things, and I have to slay prophets. I mean, come on now, this is not the life. I'm ready to die. But God still has plans for him, and he sends an angel to him, and he gives him food. He provides food for him. 3 times he's told to get up and eat because he has a long journey ahead of him. And once again, we see a biblical number, don't we? We see the number 40. Jesus spends 40 days in the wilderness, and we hear here about Elijah, who spends 40 days traveling. Now, where's he going? Well, he's going to Mount Horeb. Where's Mount Horeb? Well, we know it by another name now, don't we? And that is Mount Sinai. So he's heading into the Sinai Peninsula from where he is in Israel. He's heading into the Sinai Peninsula, to Judah, and he's heading into the Sinai Peninsula to head to the Mount of God, to Mount Horeb, where God will reveal himself once again to Elijah with all sorts of great instruction for the time that's coming. So it is interesting to read. As we hear this, we start to think of some of the things that Jesus does in his life, and we see it mirrored in what Elijah did, this idea of going out into the wilderness for 40 days, traveling and doing those things in Jesus as well. So anyway, of course, Jesus is not Elijah reincarnated, of course, but we do know that there's all these people who are living in Jesus' time will see and hear about things that Jesus is doing, and they'll go, aha, this is how God works through the great prophets. And of course, Jesus is more than a prophet. He is the Son of God. Today is Thursday, which means we have Holy Communion today at 10:30 a.m. We've moved it from 9 o'clock like we have in the summertime back to 10:30. And actually, we expose the Blessed Sacrament on the altar at 10 a.m. for some time of adoration if you'd like to come early. 10:30 Holy Communion, and then benediction immediately following. And I do hope that you are able to join us. May God bless you.